Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bros Talking Soccer. We are live from my basement and from San Jose in Dave's apartment. And it's just we're ready to get this thing going. Bros Talking Soccer. Oh, no, here we go. Here, see, I knew it was going to happen. And I knew it was going to happen.
Hey, everyone. What's up? This is Dave. Out in San Jose.
All right. So I was gonna get to that once I muted everything. But yeah, so we got our sweatshirts this week for everybody who's watching. Dave's wearing his red. I'm wearing my black. I also have a red one, but I didn't want to copy Dave because why would I?
Some awesome.
Yeah, okay. Anything else, guys? Hey, how's everything going? No, we're gonna do that later. I don't want to hear it.
All right.
Yeah, so Matt, say hello so everybody knows you.
Oh, I burped. I forgot we were live. Hey.
Bless you. Dave, just again, so everybody knows.
Hello, Christian and Matt are leading things in preparation of me going to Fiji next month. So that's what's going to be happening in the next few weeks. So that's just a little background.
Everybody get very, very excited because Dave won't be here to try and dominate the show. We'll actually be able to get a word in, and it'll probably be way more fun, right, Matt?
Definitely.
Yeah. We're going to have all these unapproved guests on.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Okay, before we go live, Christian, do you have a trivia question? Yes, Dave, because I'm always prepared.
Do you need to go to the bathroom?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So actually, we already are live, but I'm going to ask anyway before the podcast starts. For the FC Cincinnati stuff.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not actually going to be that expert on it.
Qualified.
It was tough to follow what was happening in that long-ass tweet that guy was sending.
Okay. Well, so...
Bring it up and then I just have Dave
exactly.
talk about it.
Well, you can still bring it up because you're the one that first had it. This is a little peek behind the curtains, everyone. So you're getting exclusive content here. Yeah. So, I mean, you're still the one that wanted to bring it up because the point still stands about them not having authentic jerseys and whatnot. And then I can explain whatever that guy was talking about.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do. But hey, Christian, it's your show for the next few weeks. So however you want to do things.
From now on.
Yeah.
F you. This is
you're not relinquishing control.
After you made me sit here miserably typing shit in to get this thing started.
That's how this works. This is how people find us and enjoy the podcast. So you're getting a little peek into my world. So welcome. How is it?
Awful. Just awful. All right. So you guys ready to start now?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
now
am so freaking ready.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bros Talking Soccer, episode 113. Can you believe it, guys? It is crazy. I am Christian Knittel. I'll be leading things today. I know Dave usually is, but we're actually trying to make it more fun, so we took him off. Dave, I'll start with you. Say hello to all the listeners, and how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing well, Christian. Thank you very much for asking. I want to give you a shout out for telling me about Would I Lie to You. I'm not going to steal your thunder and tell people too much about the show, but
I can't believe you would do this.
People need to go watch the show. It is amazing, and I want to thank Christian for telling me about it. Christian, I'm trying to give you props here.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn around and give Brendan Westerfield, my friend, props because he's the one who introduced me to that show, and it is sensational. Literally the most funny show I've ever watched. I sit and just crack up at every single line said in that game show.
Is he related to the people that own all the malls all over the place? I did not know that was his last name.
Sure.
All right, cool. That's cool, Brendan.
He is not, but yeah, okay. Matt, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I have a little bit of a migraine, so my eyes are closed, I'm not falling asleep unless Dave's talking, then I might be falling asleep.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Boom roasted. All right. So Christian, do you have a trivia question? Yes, I do. Oh my God. I would love to get this going. Our trivia question this week is about one of our least favorites, Sergio Ramos, who I will also be talking about later in my section. So today, I think they played, and he picked up yet another red card. He has the record for number of red cards in La Liga. How many is that, guys?
We'll think on it and give a guess this later.
Yeah. So don't actually tell me now. I was just phrasing it and giving you time to think for a second because you're not going to have much time now from now until when you have to give me an answer. So I was just giving you a second. Now we can hop right in. All right. So you guys ready to get this thing going? Matt, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Matt's Megs. Here we go.
All right. Here we go. Here. Thank you, Christian, for that intro. A little bit different here, switching things up. But welcome to Matt's Megs. Let's start things off talking Champions League. Sorry, I had to think about which one I wanted to talk about first. This week was the first half of the first leg of the round of 16. Very confusing sentence structure there, but we're going to rock with that. So the teams that played were, let me bring them all up. Dortmund getting hammered by the Spurs, 3-0.
Yeah, for once it wasn't Matt getting hammered. It was actually a football team.
Yeah.
Or soccer team.
I guess I'm going in reverse order. These were the Wednesday games. Tottenham beat Dortmund 3-0. Real Madrid squeaked out a 2-1 win away at Ajax.
Interesting way to pronounce it. Ajax.
I know. I had a little thing in my throat. So, Roma beat Porto 2-1, and PSG beat United 2-0. Christian, I'll start with you. What do you make of the results of the first 4 games?
I love that we're just keeping Dave quiet over there today. It's just the best. So I guess, should we go one by one, Matt? Do you want to do it that way, or do you want me to do all 4?
All 4.
Okay.
General thoughts.
So I am going to start with how you started there. Tottenham blowing away Borussia Dortmund at Wembley. It was actually shocking. 0-0 at half. In my opinion, I think Dortmund were the better team in the first half, too. They were creating. Sancho and Pulisic were actually getting a lot of space, were causing problems for Spurs at the back. But the second half was probably the best I've ever seen from Vertonghen. He was a man possessed. He scored, had an assist, and they just dominated the game. They were absolutely brilliant to watch in the second half. And I really think it is a statement on how good the Premier League really has gotten over the past couple of years. They're starting to just surpass everybody, and it's really fun to watch them. I feel like a lot of the teams, other than United, who were embarrassing, in my opinion, against PSG, they were fantastic, and I think we're going to see it again this week with Liverpool and Man City. Second game was Porto and Roma, and I apologize to all the listeners who are fans of those teams. I could not care any less about those two teams. I expected Roma to win. I think it's big that Porto did get a goal on the road, and now they go back to Portugal where they can get a result. But that tie is set up really, really well, and I think it's going to be fun. Real Madrid versus Ajax. I expected Ajax to actually get a result in this game, and from what I hear, and I want to address what happened in that game, but I don't know if we want to come back to that later.
Let's come back to it.
Okay, we'll come back to that. I think Ajax played extremely well. I think Real Madrid are a better team on paper, and they showed that at the end of the day. But it was a little hard done by. I think the result was not really in favor of what happened in the game. And we'll talk about why in a little bit. And finally, the last game was
United.
Ugh, God. So PSG's game, we're going to call it that. PSG dominated at Old Trafford, just embarrassingly, in my opinion. I think Thomas Tuchel got his tactics spot on, and it completely shut down United. They did no answers for what was happening out there. I think Verratti and Marquinhos completely shut down Pogba. He was getting frustrated, ended up getting sent off because of it. He was, in my opinion, he was utterly useless. I think Verratti completely controlled the game. It was really, really a joy to watch him. Best player, I think, in the Champions League round of 16 I've seen so far. Just absolutely dominant. Up there with Vertonghen, probably those two. But it was really just showing United's weaknesses, in my opinion. They really exploited them. Dave?
Now that Christian's monologue is done, thanks, Matt. I don't think any of the final results were surprising. The only thing that was truly surprising was how much Dortmund lost by and how much Tottenham won by. 3-0. I can't see them coming back from that. Beyond that, I think everything else went about as I expected. Ajax kept it a little bit closer. Hey-oh, play with words. Ajax kept it a little bit closer than I expected, and they played very, very well. They haven't been playing too well in the Eredivisie, and Real has been playing very well in La Liga, and so the fact that that tie was so close was a bit surprising. Beyond that, everything else went about as expected, and I think every team that won the first leg will, and should go through. So that's what I have to say on this topic.
All right. I don't really have too much more to add. I thought Porto would actually get a result, at least a tie, because I know they haven't conceded. I just thought it would be, kind of how close it was with the 2-1 win. All 3 goals came, I think, within like 10 minutes of each other in that game. And I knew Porto doesn't really concede much. Well, at least they haven't this year. I heard Casillas. I didn't get to watch the game. I heard Casillas played out of his mind. So I think that one might be a closer second leg, probably the only one I can see kind of turning around of all the games that have happened so far. But other than that, I think it kind of went how it should go. I mean, Tottenham with the injuries, it's surprising how well they did, but I still think they are more talented than Borussia Dortmund, even though they're killing it in the Bundesliga right now. I think this is going to be, it would be a complete disaster if Tottenham didn't go through after this.
I will say, if Dortmund gets a goal within the first 20 minutes of that next leg, things are going to get interesting. They have 80,000 fans there. Tottenham has kind of over the last few years just had a history of sort of getting in their own heads and kind of blowing leads that they should have held on to. So things are going to get interesting if they give up an early goal there.
Yeah, and Dortmund in the group stage did have that with Atletico Madrid, where they killed them and then got killed by them the next time. So maybe it is a away thing for Dortmund in the Champions League this year. People find out. And I'm just, the United tie is just over at this point. It was surprising to see United was favored in that game. I mean, I know it was home, and PSG has all these injuries, but they were favored to win by like betting odds and things like that. So it was just really surprising to see that. Do you guys think they should have done better?
I can understand why. Yeah, I can understand why they were favored in the context of everything, given that they had been on a run of, however many, I think it was 9 or 10 straight matches where they hadn't suffered defeat. They had been playing better under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yes, they've been playing against weaker opposition, but you can only play against the teams in front of you. When they were playing those teams earlier this year under Jose, they looked terrible. So they were playing better. They were at home. PSG had a ton of injuries. I can understand the betting odds favoring them. Now, as an expert, which I most certainly am, I wouldn't have had United as the favorites, but I can understand why the betting odds swayed that way.
All right, yeah. Do you guys want to add anything about the games that already happened, or you want to preview next now?
I would like to talk about Ajax and what happened there.
Didn't you pretty much talked about it?
I thought you were going to say it in your section, or do we want to talk about it here?
Wait, no, I didn't have that in my section.
Oh, all right, my bad. When you guys don't tell me exactly what's in your sections, or you send it right before the podcast, I sometimes forget. All right, so bring it up now.
Talk about that game?
Yes, I would love to talk about that.
Because the situation does deserve discussion. The Ramos thing, right?
And the VAR thing, I meant.
The VAR.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Ramos thing.
No, the Ramos thing is in my section.
That's what we thought we were talking about.
Okay. Jesus.
No, I'm talking about the VAR.
What was wrong with it?
I want to address it.
Okay, yes.
Because I think it's controversial.
Okay.
Well, I'm taking over. This is now Christian's corner for a little bit during Matt's Megs. So what happened in the game? Ajax scored off of a corner. A header came in, deflected off of Thibaut Courtois, who made the save with his left foot, bounced up. Ajax player comes in, heads the ball into the goal. During the play, it was ruled a goal. Everybody celebrated, whatever happened. VAR then comes in. He starts to review. We see replays. There is was it Ziyech or Tadic? One of them was standing up against Courtois.
One of the itches.
Kind of. I don't know. I'm very skeptical of this decision, and is almost impeding Courtois' progress to come get the ball. He would never have gotten there, ever. No way. That goal was going to happen no matter what there. They overturned the goal, and that's what happened. I think you guys should go now.
All right, Dave.
Yeah. So for me, VAR should be used for clear and obvious. I don't think this was clear and obvious. You could see it either way. Now, having said that, I do think it was a foul on Courtois. The guy kind of impeded his progress and sort of kept him down. As a goalkeeper, what he's about to do there is make himself as big as possible. Courtois is absolutely enormous, and you don't know where the hell his hands and his long-ass neck could have gotten to if he was able to fully extend himself, and he may have been able to make that save. So I can understand why this was overturned, because it was a foul at the end of the day, and the guy was offsides who committed the foul. Now, it was very, very close and whatnot, and so it probably shouldn't have gone to VAR, but I can understand why it was eventually overturned. I don't think this is like an absolute conspiracy in favor of Real Madrid or anything like that, though.
UEFAdrid, Dave. UEFAdrid.
Yeah, oh, shout out Drew. He said it.
I think I'm in agreement with Dave. I mean, with a goal scoring or a goal scoring play, you should be able to review that. And it was, I think in my head, it was pretty clear that he was offsides and in the way and of fouling Courtois. So I think it just made sense. Like on a goal scoring, like you're gonna watch a goal and then see something wrong and just say, all right, it was close, even though it was wrong. We're just gonna let it happen. No, that's what VAR is there to do.
I think VAR is for clear and obvious.
Then the referees will see it if it's clear and obvious.
The referees didn't see it though,
but it's a goal scoring play.
So
you're saying, if
it did not change the result of what happened in the play.
Change the result of the game.
I think it did change.
It did because they incorrectly turned the goal over.
But it's not incorrect. I don't think it. I think it was a foul on Courtois, and he was offside.
I don't think it is. I disagree. It's not a foul.
Why is it not a foul?
You're calling it for a foul. They didn't call a foul. They called him because he was offside.
Yeah, he was offside.
He was offside and then was thus affecting the play. If he was standing offside and then just didn't affect the play. Yes. Okay. So, yeah.
There are so many times in goal-scoring plays where someone's offside, lets it roll by them, and then it's passed back to them, and then they score. And if the ball's really close to them, it's still not called, as long as you don't make an
well, they weren't impeding the ball.
Exactly. So that's where. So maybe.
But technically, they're in the play. Then they're involved in the play if the ball rolls next to you.
No, if they don't make an attempt to play the ball.
If you don't make an attempt.
Okay, so if someone's standing like 20 yards offside, the ball rolls like literally 2 feet in front of them, and the goalie comes out to try and defend them. They still let it just roll by them, and somebody else runs in who's onside and scores. The goalie went to the offside
because then it's part of the play.
And even if they impacted play.
Even if he's not attempting.
Yeah.
I disagree.
What do you mean? Well, if he's not attempting, then the goalie would just pick it up.
No, I
understand what Chris is saying.
Is something that should have been overturned. I think it should have stayed what it was on the field at the time.
And Christian, I understand what you're talking about there, because a lot of times players get away with being passive when they stand there, when a goalkeeper or a defender does need to take them into account, whether they play the ball or not, and it's not called very often. So I guess by the letter of the law, you are right, but a lot of times we see it not called. And so that's why, I can say what I said.
I think when it's in front of goalies, they always call people, like when a shot goes in and somebody jumps over the ball, they always call that. I mean, it's clear that it was offsides. All right, that's it. Okay, we're done with this. Okay. Christian is
this is a controversial thing that needed to be addressed.
Like 11 of the 13 minutes in my section. So okay, Dave, we're starting with you. Liverpool, Bayern Munich.
It's at Bayern, right? Or is it at Anfield? All right, it's at Anfield. They're not going to have Van Dijk. Bayern had a somewhat shaky victory over Augsburg this weekend. Coman went down with an injury. I don't think it's long-term, but I think he's iffy for the next leg. I expect Liverpool to get a victory at home, but I am concerned about them giving up an away goal.
All right, Christian?
Same thing exactly. I am very concerned with our center back situation. Gomez is out and Van Dijk are out. I think Lovren is back. I don't know. We haven't seen him in a while.
Thank God.
So him and Fabinho?
No, Matip will start. Matip will start, and I just don't know if it's Fabinho or Lovren going to be starting next to him. I think we're really, really going to miss Fabinho if he's not starting in the midfield. But it is the Champions League, and Klopp loves that Milner, Henderson, Genie midfield for these games.
All right, yeah. So I think it's going to help Bayern, having Van Dijk not there for the away leg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, no, for the away leg rather than the home leg.
Okay.
Because I think if they could easily, no, I'm not going to say easily, but very realistically score 2 or 3 goals away. I'm not saying Liverpool won't score, 2 or 3 pretty realistically either and win the game, but I think this could be a very high-scoring affair considering Bayern's kind of been shaky, and it seems like all their games are high-scoring and they're conceding as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, and I think Liverpool are going to win, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Leon Barca. Christian.
Sorry. I'm going to go with a Barca win here. And that's all that needs to be said.
Samesies.
Yeah. If Leon wins, I don't even know what I'll do. I'll eat a shoe live on this podcast.
Oh my god!
Whoa.
I'm so
no. I meant the 2 legs.
So excited.
I meant the 2
okay.
legs. I don't know the game.
Okay.
I meant if they go through.
Hey, you still said it. I mean, I just became the biggest Lyon fan.
On this podcast. Everybody pay attention.
If Leon go past Barca. Okay.
Dave might be in Fiji and miss it. Oh.
Yeah, you're going to miss
You have to watch.
I'm dialing in if that happens.
Okay. Next game, Schalke and Man City. Dave, sorry. One of you. Start talking.
Man City. They've the deepest team. Schalke's an absolute fucking disaster right now. Like, McKennie has played all over the field. They can't figure things out. If Schalke gets a result in either of these matches, it will be a huge victory for them.
I thought you were going to make a claim.
No, I'm not claiming that. They can't score. They're just a mess.
Hair.
No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not an idiot. But Man City's going to win.
You got to do something about that hair, Dave.
Yeah, I need a haircut. It's been 2 months. Look at this. People on the YouTube video, just look at this. Look at that.
Yeah. Christian, what do you think of the game?
The City. Yeah, they're going to win.
I didn't realize how bad Schalke's doing in Bundesliga.
Yeah,
they're only a couple points ahead of relegation. They're in 14th, and it's like.
Although I think that the bottom 3 are pretty far back at this point.
I think
Bundesliga.
they're like 5 points ahead.
Oh, are they? I thought it was further than that.
Yeah, it's not insurmountable to think that insurmountable.
I can't look at you anymore.
You're gonna have to. This is how it works. It would be a shock for Schalke to go down, but I mean, who was it? I think it was Wolfsburg, either last year or the year before. Like, I feel like one of the big teams in Germany always seems to get tripped up and like in the relegation fight. But especially
Wolfsburg won the Bundesliga and got relegated a year or 2 later.
Yeah, it's crazy over there. But the one saving grace is that I don't think Schalke is going to fall all the way down into automatic relegation. And if they have the playoff, I would expect them to get through. But all right, this isn't a Bundesliga discussion, Matt. Sorry for hijacking things there.
All right. Last game, Atletico Madrid, Juventus.
Ooh.
Christian.
This is probably the best game, in my opinion, in the Champions League round of 16. I think it's really, really an entertaining matchup. I really don't know. I think Juventus wins over the 2 legs, but is this game at Juve or is it at
Madrid?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. I think they'll get a result. I'm expecting a draw, probably low scoring, 1-1 max, but Atletico seem to always be up for it defensively. They have the ability to counter. I'm actually predicting Atletico win this game 1-0 and are able to keep a clean sheet, even though Juventus are high flying and scoring goals for fun in Serie A.
Okay. Dave?
I don't know if this is going to be the most exciting tie, but I think it's the closest. I think actually Liverpool-Bayern is going to be the most exciting tie. It would have been Borussia Dortmund-Tottenham, but that has kind of been thrown off by the first leg result. But I think this is going to be so tight. Both teams are so stout defensively, and they play a defensive sort of game. You know, given Juventus's experience bringing in Ronaldo, I would expect them to get through over 2 legs, but it's going to be super, super tight.
Yeah, but has Juventus lost this year yet?
I think so. I think they lost fairly recently. In Serie A, you mean?
Yeah. Or no, just like in all competitions.
I think they got eliminated from one of the cups, if I remember correctly. And no, they still haven't lost in Serie A. But I could have that wrong. But I want to say they did lose a match.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, it would be hard to see them.
They
lose.
lost Atalanta. Sorry, in the Copa.
I don't think they've played anyone of this caliber yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, Atletico. It's almost the same thing every year there with how they play and how they play top teams. So it's going to be close. But for me, it's just so hard to see Atletico actually winning this game, even though they are home. I can see them getting a tie, though.
Yeah, and Juve has lost to Man United and Young Boys in the Champions League as well.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
But you're true. Yeah, I think this is the best team they've played all year, and so there's going to be a stout test for them.
Them Young Boys, dude.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
That's a weird fucking thing.
I think. Do we end it here?
No, please say something else. Please, say something else.
Are we running long? Should I cut my last topic or just go over it really fast?
Fuck it. Who cares? This is our podcast. Whatever you guys want to do. All right.
Okay.
This is Dave.
Oh, yeah. Why
you? Exactly.
My podcast. All right. Yeah, we're talking about the Man City Newport County FA Cup match that happened yesterday. Not necessarily about the result, but the state of the pitch. Newport County shares their field with the rugby team, if I'm correct. So they beat the field to hell during this week, and it was pretty probably the worst professional field I've seen, especially at that level. The condition of it was much worse than the NFL. What the NFL did to Wembley. And they made it known that they were going to do that, very openly in the media, all right, we're going to tear our field up. And that's pretty much our only hope of getting a result out of this match. Christian, I'll start with, I started with Christian last time. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you think about this sneaky tactic?
I mean, it's within the rules. It's definitely gamesmanship. And I mean, there is no way Newport could have gotten a result if they played on, a standard professional pitch. And so, I mean, you got to respect it for them trying every avenue to get a result. But it is kind of sneaky and a little slimy of them. Yeah. But I'm okay with it.
Little sneaky sneaks. I don't like it. I think that everyone there should be a quality control, that every field has to live up to a certain standard. And I understand they're sharing it with a rugby team, but this is the FA Cup. This is a big competition in England, and that's really unacceptable. I understand that they had no chance at all if they played on a pristine pitch. Yeah, I said it. Pristine. But I think that they did what they had to do, and they followed the rules technically, but it was not good.
Yeah, and it kind of got close at the end. It was 2-1. The game was kind of within reach. I mean, Man City dominated still, but they can't pass around. They can't be Man City on that field.
Yeah, imagine what would happen if they had scored a second and had to go to the Etihad for the next game.
Yeah, but the thing for me, I think it's smart. So I think it's hilarious what they did. And it's their own their only shot, and they kind of made it known. So I think it's funny, but people can get hurt playing on a field like that, and that's where I'm I think the FA has to do something about it, where it's just and it's for where City is right now. I know we're deep, but if one of our star players got hurt in a game like that when they purposely messed up the pitch, I mean, that's just, you would hate to see that happen.
Way to ruin the fun, Matt, and make it serious. But yeah, no, that's actually a really good point, and why they, in all likelihood, should not have done this. And fortunately, no injuries and whatnot, and this is just a funny story.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
I'm good.
I'm good.
You sure, Christian?
I mean, I could talk if you want.
No. All right, that's going to conclude Matt's Megs. Thank you for joining me. Listen to a little bit of music, and we'll be right back.
Good job.
Excellent work. What's up, Steven? Thank you for being here. Evan, I'm not sure if you are still here. 23 or 24 minutes, but Evan, what's going on? Yeah, it was 23 minutes, and I started Matt's a little bit after he started talking. So that's fine. Whatever. I mean, whatever you guys want to do. Hey, this is your podcast. All right, are you gonna do your stadium scene plug?
I would love to. Check out our friends over at Stadium Scene. go to stadiumscene.tv to view their content. So over there, you can check out any stadium in North America for any sport. So not Mexico. I almost said Mexico. It's US or Canada. And yeah, just check out. They've got events in the area, where to park, what to see at the stadium, what bars and restaurants to go to, all that good stuff. Matt, what else do they got over there?
They also partner with content creators like ourselves and offer you things like podcasts, YouTube videos, blogs, all that great stuff. And again, it's not just soccer, it's any sport, North America. So check them out at stadiumscene.tv.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
Good job, guys. All right,
Christian, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. You guys ready?
I am so freaking ready. Let's go.
Welcome to Christian's Corner. I know you guys were almost falling asleep there, so I had to get you. All right, so we're going to hop right in with our first topic here. Let me think which topic I want to start with, actually. I messed that one up, but we're going to think about it for a second here. Let's do the FC Cincinnati. Dave, I know you're going to have a lot more information on this, but I did want to talk about it because I heard about the story from a couple of different friends, and I brought it up to you. Everyone's kind of very confused on this one. FC Cincinnati and their fans will all be wearing replica jerseys this year. Not authentics, replica. Dave, do you want to give a little bit more information on this?
Yeah, sure. So basically, they started the whole design process too late in order to get everything in order to have full replicas done. And we retweeted it. It was from a couple days ago. I think it was February 12th. We retweeted it from West of the Pond was the account. And this person had worked either with Adidas or had worked with kit designers before. And he shared basically the whole reason about why this happened. And it all stems from the fact that FC Cincinnati was announced as an MLS expansion franchise pretty late in the process. And so they kind of started their whole kit design late. And that's why they weren't able to do all of this. I know I'm putting you guys to sleep because I can see it in your faces, but that's a little bit of the backstory. So I have a little bit of sympathy for FC Cincinnati. Like, it's not really their fault, but they're getting crushed from a lot of different angles on this.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's pretty ridiculous still. I mean, for me, it's just hard to kind of grasp, like, how can you not have jerseys made in time? It seems pretty simple. Like, how in-depth does the design process have to be? I understand they want to get it, like, perfect, but I feel like you could put it together pretty quickly.
I agree.
Well, it's Adidas. Like, it's a multinational company which has, teams that it manages all over the place. And that's why the tweet thread that I sent you guys, that I think may have been a bit too long for you guys to read, explains why, everything has happened and why it takes so long to actually get a kit out. And it's not just as simple as, oh, it's a professional club, they should be able to turn this around in 3 months.
So you expect people to read more than just the headlines?
That's my bad. You know what? That's my fault. Yeah, it's very true.
Can you please send us a 1-sentence summary for every article you ever read, Dave? Because that's all I got. That's all the time that I have to give.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but still, I think it's, again, like a funny story, and it's crazy that they're not going to have authentic jerseys. But I mean, it's a 1-year thing. I don't know how much of a big deal it really is. So.
Okay. Well, I think it is kind of a big deal. I really struggle to understand how this can happen. I do know they got approved to be a team pretty late on in the process for the upcoming season, but they did also know that it was going to happen. Like, this should have been in process for a long time, in my opinion. And I know they have to get MLS to sign off on their jerseys, which I just found out, but that makes sense because MLS owns everything. They have to get a sign off to approve their jerseys and everything and their designs. But I still think that there is plenty of time for this to get done. And I understand that these are big companies that are working on other things, but they're also big companies with a huge amount of resources that they could have got this done.
Huge amount of red tape and organizational structure as well. And also Jeff
You don't know
Reuter.
what color their tape is?
Yeah. I don't know what color the tape is. It's probably black and white, because isn't that their main colors? The Jeff Reuter had a really interesting article in The Athletic just about not on this topic, but it was on why long sleeve jerseys are going away in MLS. And it's just kind of just more detail and background on what's happening, I guess, at Adidas and at these big manufacturers and how they kind of control things as far as what clubs can do. And so, again, that's another article I highly recommend people checking out. If you have time to actually read something, because I think
it's cool
and interesting. Yeah. The headline said something like why
MLS
no one
removed long sleeve jerseys.
No, why no one in MLS will confirm why long sleeve jerseys were removed. And it's a ridiculous article, but it kind of shed some more light on this topic.
I love long sleeve jerseys. That's annoying.
So do I. I was really disappointed in this.
I'm very disappointed. I'll have to keep my Union one forever because it's never going to be made again.
Oh,
you know? Guys, we're going to have to keep them.
That's fine with me. I don't plan on getting rid of it.
I don't know what you do. I feel like you're very materialistic, so you just buy new stuff and throw shit away.
Yep, that sounds like me.
It's you.
Yeah. Hence my 115 scarves that I have around here from years of collecting.
Yeah, but imagine if you didn't throw all the other ones away, how many you would have.
Totally. All right. Now we're just I don't know what the fuck you're talking about at this point.
Yeah. Anything else you guys have to add on this topic?
No. I am good.
I am good. All right, so back to the Champions League we go. Hey, back to Ramos we go. Sergio Ramos at it again. This man is just the worst. All right, so this time he blatantly said he purposely got a yellow card because he wanted to serve his suspension in the next game. He didn't explicitly say all of that, but he said it was part of the game and he knew what he was doing. Okay. Matt, I'll start with you here. Do you think that it's fair for him to pick up a yellow knowing that his side already have an advantage or going back to the Bernabeu for the second leg?
No, it's unfair. Real Madrid shouldn't have a club.
Me too. Kidding. I agree.
Just making Christian happy there. No, yeah, that's so smart. Like, I don't know why this is a problem and why it was made such a big deal. I mean, he made a professional move. You pretty much always know, like, it's the same thing as bringing someone down when they're going to start a breakaway. You're saving a goal. I mean, you know you're going to get a yellow card, but you know it. It's smart. I mean, he's thinking about, the greater good. He's thinking about the season, and he's just a player that has the awareness to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's why he got the extra red card today as well. He just knows he's just a visionary.
Yeah, because he's tired. He's like, I'll take 2 weeks off.
I mean, I get that it was kind of smart to an extent, but it's not like this tie is over. It's a 1-goal match. And so, like, Real has not played well at center back. Varane is having a down year. Their other center backs aren't that great. And Ramos is actually playing very, very well. So it is pretty risky of him to take a card in this situation. So I do just want to highlight that fact. I mean, if it was like 3 or 4-0, it makes sense. But this is not over. So I do think it is risky from him.
So if he is, I know UEFA are going to investigate into this, and we've seen it before. I remember, I think it was Xabi Alonso did this a couple of years ago with Real Madrid, and he actually ended up having to serve an extra game as a suspension because they found him guilty of this. Do you think that's an appropriate punishment if he is guilty of purposely getting this to serve it now instead of later on in the tournament?
No, I don't understand why.
Wait, why would it be delayed? He would just get served like the next 2 matches. It wouldn't be delayed, would it?
I'm saying if he is like, instead of picking up the yellow in that last game, like he purposely did it last game so that it would be the next leg instead of later on in the tournament. That's what I was saying.
You should be able to get a yellow card whenever you want.
Yeah.
Then you're taking advantage of the rules.
How? You're getting a yellow card. You're suspended.
He's purposely getting it now, though, instead of later on in the tournament.
Okay, but what if they lose? Then it's on him. That's not on anybody to say anything else, but this is his decision. How is it cheapening the game, or how is this cheating in any way?
No, Real Madrid have been accused of this in the past and were fined.
But what's the problem?
You're not allowed to just purposely get yourself suspended so that you don't later. Like, that's against the rules.
That's suspended. Like, what? I don't know. I don't get why that's a problem.
Because if they draw against either Barcelona or PSG or another big team in the next game, now he'll be able to play in it no matter what. unless he gets a red card, obviously.
Yeah, but he's suspended for this game.
I understand, but he's purposely sitting out the Ajax game instead of one of those.
Okay.
He's manipulating this system. Yeah, so the system is there.
He's manipulating.
No. I mean, Matt brings up. Matt understands. He just says that there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. Ramos is manipulating the system. And the system is designed to, it's supposed to be a punishment. And so what he's doing is kind of getting around that punishment by controlling when he is potentially being suspended. So I see both sides of the equation. For me, it does feel kind of like the Newport thing, a little slimy, and I can understand them suspending him. But if he gets away with it, and if he didn't come out and say like that he admitted to it, I think he probably would have been, scot-free. But now that he admitted to it, I would expect an additional suspension just because UEFA has kind of set that precedence before. Precedent?
Yeah.
Precedent.
No.
Yeah. Presents.
They have many presents for Real Madrid. Yeah. It's UEFAdrid. All right. So anything else you guys want to talk about on this topic? No? All right. So we're going to have a short Christian's Corner here because Matt's Megs was just quite the event.
Well, it was basically Christian's Corner.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. Oh my God. It's like I had 2 Christian's Corners today. All right. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it. And listen to this music before we come back for Dave's Dives and the finale.
Oh, very nice setup. Didn't realize. So Soccer Swap's here. What's up, Soccer Swap? Thanks for joining. He said today's red was pre-planned too, because if he was booked the next game, he would have missed El Clasico. So it sounds like he's doing the same thing in La Liga as well.
I literally hate him. I really hate Sergio Ramos. I can't stand him.
That's just smart, though.
I know.
It's again manipulating the system. And
everybody manipulates the system. If you take a guy down on a breakaway, or you grab somebody who's getting by you and break up the flow of the game, because there could have been a break. Technically, that's against the game of the rules. It's all a part of the game. You may not like the
rules. He's breaking the game of the rules.
Yeah, he's all part of the game of the rules, guys. Like,
yeah, it's not like that.
Sorry, this guy gets me just fucking fired up. I
could tell. Yeah, we did give a bunch of plugs for Yellow Card Pod. Sorry, Steven, we didn't even give a shout out to the pod, but yeah, we mentioned Yellow Card a bunch of times. Maybe we're just subliminally getting it into people's minds so that they'll go listen. Carvalho.
Sometimes you can't just say things. It's the subliminal subliminal messages.
Exactly.
Can you add sound after? Like, even though we didn't say it, could you like sneak in a pod every time we say yellow, like very quietly?
Yellow card.
Yellow card. I can. That would be a pretty large pain in the ass to do editing wise, but I could do that.
Saying you don't care about the yellow card?
Hey guys, why don't you do it? Since you have the brilliant idea, why don't you guys edit the podcast as well? That would be pretty good.
Operation. I don't do it. I just think
I'm the talent. So
what am
you're
I?
You're the
I'm the wild card.
You're the guy who does
the wild card.
I'm the wild card of the group.
Yeah, I mean, look at you.
Dave, are you gonna do your plug or not? Jesus Christ, we've been waiting for forever.
What's up, everybody? I wanted to give a quick plug for our partner, FNX.network. FNX.network is a website you want to check out. It has all different kinds of content, not just specific to sports, but they have sports on there as well. Entertainment, video games, lifestyle, tech, and more. Blog posts, podcasts, YouTube videos. Go check all of that out over on FNX.network. I will be getting a haircut this week, by the way. Kristen, she's putting her foot down finally. So the hair will be cut. I'll look fresh and sexy again for next pod. So I know you guys were worried. I just wanted to let you know that.
You have very shitty hair.
I have great hair. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just all over the fucking place right now. That's what's going on. I gotta start my timer. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dave's Dive. First thing I wanted to jump in and talk about here is La Liga killing Club de Football Royce, I think is how you pronounce it. I was going to call it something else, but what did I say? Why are we already laughing at me, guys?
There's a very long pause
after La Liga killed somebody. La Liga is killing.
Well, I was trying to think.
I didn't read Dave's topics. This is going to be really interesting.
I was trying to think of how I wanted to frame it up. CF Royce, Club de Football Royce. I went with the Spanish pronunciation because I'm very, very fancy. Whatever. Moral of the story, Royce, who's a second division La Liga club right now, they've been going through some financial issues. They weren't paying some of their players, and La Liga stepped in, basically released those players from their contract, so Royce wasn't able to sell them during the winter transfer window. They gave Royce a certain amount of time to find new investors to sort of cover the financial stuff. They were able to find them. It was, I think, an American company that came in. But then what they did before the owners took over was they slapped them with a $250,000 euro. That's what it is. That's the currency they use there. Fine. And then they banned them for 3 years, which I've never heard of from another league. I mean, I've heard of leagues being sent down a bunch of divisions, but never anything like this. Matthew, what do you think about this story? Do you think La Liga was too heavy-handed with this punishment, or does it fit the crime?
I think it's somewhat appropriate. I mean, 3 years is a long time. I feel like 2 probably would have been better because 3 years
and completely for 2 years, like the club can't play at all.
Oh, I thought like they couldn't move up. You meant.
No,
like
they're banned. Like they're not playing for 3 years.
Oh, I thought you meant like banned from potential La Liga.
No.
Okay, that's different. Let me think about this one. So maybe until the end of the year would have made more sense, considering it's just like you just shut them down for this year. Have the investors start looking at new players, but I mean that's also so much time to. Wow, that could kill the club now that I'm thinking about it. You lose so much fan support in 3 years. I'm just thinking about this.
Well, like, hence why I said La Liga killed the club.
Yeah, wow. Good words, Dave. Good words. They really killed them there.
All right. Christian, what do you think about this punishment given the situation?
Oh, my God. That is just horrible. 3 years is a really, really long time, and I can't imagine how difficult it will be for that club to just grow again because they're going to lose everything, all of their assets, and for them to really rebound, it's almost impossible. Yeah. It's going to take such a long time.
So, like their youth academy and things like that, like the complete club shutdown, or like are they?
I think they just can't play, right? In division.
Yeah.
My guess would be that. So I'm not certain of the exact details, but my guess would be they could probably operate at the youth level. They might be able to play scrimmages or whatnot, but they can't play professionally. They're not licensed. That would be my guess.
Okay.
For me, I can't understand why they're fully shutting the club down. Like we've seen it with other leagues. I think it was Palermo a couple years ago, where towards the end of this Serie A season, they shut them down and they forced all those clubs to forfeit. What's up?
We're getting Palermo's
for dinner. So.
Nice. That's a local pizza shop where we're from. But Palermo was shut down. The remaining matches were forfeited in Serie A, and then they dropped down to, I think it was like the 4th division in Italy. I don't know why it's not a similar situation here. I don't understand the fine. I understand you don't want clubs going around spending recklessly, and you need to set an example. But killing the club by banning them, I just can't for the life of me understand this. Especially because the club's been around, I think, over 110 years. This is like, there's so much broader implications of doing this that I think La Liga is kind of being somewhat short-sighted in. Matthew, anything else to add here?
No, I don't think so.
Christian.
La Liga should focus more on banning Sergio Ramos than they should on Royce.
Helpful as always. Let's switch gears to Serie A. We talked about it last week. We need to start talking about Serie A more, and we're not let down this past week. Mauro Icardi?
Super Mario?
Icardi, whatever the hell his first name is.
Oh, Mauro.
Icardi. Mauro. Yeah, the Argentinian striker who has been somewhat a controversial captain at Inter, but he's a very talented player, but has some off-field antics that are not the greatest. Let's put it that way. His wife, who is also his agent, has oftentimes gone on Italian television and criticized the other players, criticized inner management and all of that. And finally, the inner management had enough. She did it this past week. And Sampaoli, I think, who is the manager? Nope. That's the Argentine guy.
Right?
Yeah. No. Sampaoli was the Argentine manager. I can't remember his name. Spalletti. I think his name's Spalletti. Finally had enough, stripped Icardi of his captaincy this week at Inter. Icardi then came out and said he wasn't in a state of mind to play for the Europa League match. And I just watched them beat Sampdoria or Sassuolo. I can't remember who they were actually playing. And he was in the stands again with his wife. But Christian, what do you think about Icardi saying he can't play after being stripped as captain because he's claiming it's because he's not in the right mental state?
Well, I think he's got to grow up a little bit. I think he wasn't probably the right choice to be captain. I think they only made him captain so that he would stick around and wouldn't abandon the club. I think he's too good for that team right now. I know Inter have grown a lot in the past couple of years, but he could be a top striker at one of the top teams. I know his work rates aren't great, but his conversion rate is very, very good. He is a penalty box poacher, just predator. All the P words that you can possibly put into a sentence, he is.
Whoa.
He also is being a little bit of a pussy. All right, so so I think that he's just got to grow up a little bit more. And just to go off, I know his wife probably shouldn't be saying these comments, but I feel bad because she got attacked in her car this week by a rock, and some of the fans were throwing things at her.
The fans attacked her.
The rock
premeditatedly attacked her.
Dwayne Johnson was running around Italy.
Dwayne Johnson definitely attacked her this week. Yeah. No, that didn't happen. Just to clarify. No. If the fans were throwing rocks and other things at her, and they broke her windshield, I think, and it just unnecessary. So I understand why Icardi is also feeling a little bit under pressure from the fans.
So, yeah. So for me, he's always had.
Are they farmers, Dave?
Huh? I was singing Under Pressure.
Oh, it sounded like you were doing We Are Farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Okay. Matthew, continue, please.
Well, she would need to go to an insurance.
Yeah, she definitely needs to see.
Either of them works for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, it seems like for the last couple of years, I know maybe things calmed down for the last maybe year and a half or so with Icardi at Inter, but it's even before that, like there was so much drama that happens between the fans and him and kind of his antics, and like how like their whatever their fan section's called, they were holding like the banners of like basically saying like you're not worthy of captain, like for the last like I want to say like I've been seeing this for like 3 years of them trying to force him out, and it must be annoying for him to be kind of the best player on this team for that extended period of time, and then the fans don't appreciate you. And I know if he's kind of being an ass, maybe he is an ass, but there has to be some sort of appreciation.
That doesn't begin with a P,
Matt. Yeah, sorry, Matt. It doesn't matter. So yeah, so it's just like there has to be some level of appreciation for him, or just leave at that point. Like if the club doesn't want you for like how you play, like some other place would enjoy his antics or at least tolerate it much better.
Well, so he's not innocent here, and it's not like the club doesn't. I don't know why he was made captain. I think he was made captain. Christian hit a nail on the head just to keep him there. But I mean, in his autobiography, I think he basically called out the inner ultras and said like him and his boys from Argentina would happily take them on. And I think that was one of the impetuses to the impeti was one of the reasons why that the relationship was strained. And also like he just doesn't have the qualities of being a captain. I mean, the whole Maxi Lopez situation with his wife, which he basically stole Maxi Lopez's wife, and that whole story, like he just never should have been captain in the first place. And
wait, Dave, did you say that hoe story or that whole story?
Whole story. I would not say that hoe story. That whole story. Yeah, no.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yes. So yeah, there's that. He just never should have been captain in the first place. I think it is time for them to move on, cash in on him. He's 25. He's kind of at the peak of his game. Sell him. You don't need that drama at your club. It makes for a fantastic narrative, and we're going to start following Serie A a little bit more because of all of this.
Who would pick him up at this point, though? Knowing that he comes with that baggage.
Dude, in world soccer, like Barcelona bought Luis Suarez after he bit 3 different people because he was one of the best strikers in the league. The best clubs get over it, right? They'll find ways.
Good, but okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
He also said, like, was it him that said the racist?
Yeah, to Evra. Like, yeah. Talent, unfortunately, rises above a lot of other things, and so clubs would find a way to take him on. It's the unfortunate reality. Christian, anything else?
Like a Man United player.
Matt, anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
All right. These last 3, I just wanted to kind of quick succession here. Tata Martino came out and said Liga MX and MLS are more competitive top to bottom than top European leagues. And for that reason, he's not going to just rule out calling people into the Mexican national team just because they play in those leagues. Matt, initial thoughts on hearing that?
Well, I don't know what he means by better top to bottom.
More competitive. I said more competitive.
Oh, well, competitive makes perfect sense. I mean, that's probably true because everyone in the MLS is so freaking close with the whole salary cap thing. I don't watch too much Liga MMA.
MMA.
Liga MMA. No, I don't watch too much Liga MX, so I can't necessarily speak on that, and I don't know how their like contracts are broken down. But at least in the MLS, it seems like every game there's a 70% chance they're tying at the end of that game.
I don't think there's anything backing that up, but I understand your point.
Yeah, Matt Facts.
Oh,
Christian,
wow.
Hashtag Matt Facts. Christian, the thoughts on this from Tata?
I kind of see what his point is. I don't know if I would say it's more competitive because I think there's just as much competition in other leagues. But at the top end, I think there's different teams each year. So I think that's what he's getting at. There's such high turnover, specifically in MLS. I feel like there are some teams that are always competing up there. But we saw it with Toronto last year. They won MLS Cup, and then last year just fell completely apart. And you see that in MLS. I think because of the drafting, I think it's changing a little bit more. But there's been such stark differences season to season between certain teams in MLS. I don't really know much about Liga MX, but from what I do know, I think that kind of happens as well down there. And there are some top teams, but it also just fluctuates.
You do make good points there. It sounded like you said fluctuates, and so that's why I started laughing.
I mean, they might fluctuate. I don't know what they do down there.
Your point stands, and it's absolutely correct, but that's not the point that he's making. What he is saying is players need to be on more often in Liga MX and MLS because the talent gap isn't as wide. Whereas if you're on a Barcelona or whatever, you might be able to absolutely destroy Ibar or something like that, and you don't necessarily need to be on the top of your game. That's kind of what his point was. But yeah, so that's just wanted to throw that out. Next up, Yahoo Sports has English language CONCACAF Champions League coverage that is starting this upcoming week. I know we've talked about it in the past that they need to offer that more. It is not going to be on TV, but you'll be able to find it on your phone with the app and online. So I know I'll be watching. I wanted to throw that out. Christian, any thoughts you have on hearing that?
Woohoo! I can watch games.
Matthew.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it so much.
Yeah. Well, actually,
right in the face.
Yeah, because actually the illegal streams, the whole Reddit industry is kind of falling apart now. They actually cracked down on that with the live stream.
Well, they should have.
Yeah, I feel kind of responsible for kind of advertising that on the podcast. And I know they probably listened to the podcast, all the leagues, and they were like, all right, shut that down. This kid's watching it.
There you go. So Reddit streams, we accept full responsibility. We apologize for shutting that down. Last thing I want to mention, NISA, the league that was started by Peter Wilt and is now being run by somebody else. It is a new third division being launched in the US. They are not going to have any sort of territory rights for players and leagues, and they're also not going to have expansion fees. And so it's kind of trying to copy the model over in England. They initially had plans for promotion and relegation. That has kind of been cooled as ownership has sort of changed. But this is really fascinating to look at a league starting in America that seems to model the European leagues most closely. And I'm just fascinated to watch it grow. There's going to be a team in Center City, Philadelphia. It's one of the inaugural franchises. So something to follow here. Matt, any thoughts? What? The old Philadelphia Fury is going to be in Center City, Philadelphia. So I'm fascinated by this league. I've talked about it on the previous podcast. I don't know, maybe Franklin Field. I don't know. Where?
He goes Center City.
He said, where are they playing? I said, Center City.
Yeah. Guys, any thoughts on NISA? I know we've talked about it on previous podcasts, but I'm excited that it actually finally is happening.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the Pro Rel was going to happen sooner rather than later, but you said it kind of halted because of this.
Yeah, so they were initially launching with integration with NASL and NPSL. NASL has more or less collapsed and is kind of completely gone, and NPSL is actually launching their own professional league. So their initial thoughts on promotion and relegation have kind of cooled. But if this league proves somewhat attractive, teams can sign up and they don't have to pay an expansion fee. They just need to pay their kind of, you know, organizational structures, and it might be a way to get more teams sort of going. So, yeah,
it's great.
Christian, any thoughts?
No.
Go check out the Soccer Tavern YouTube channel before we get to our listener. Well, not before we get to our listener questions. I just wanted to mention it before that. Videos about the history, culture, and philosophy of the beautiful game over on the YouTube channel, the Soccer Tavern YouTube channel. God, Dave, stumbling over my words. I have started researching Bundesliga clubs, and I'm pretty deep into that research. Really enjoying that. Hopefully going to have a bunch of videos coming out in the next few months. Listener questions. First up, at Soccer Swap, what's up? I think you're here live as well. Given its League of Ireland kickoff tonight, so this was a couple of days ago, but the League of Ireland has officially started. I suggest each bro pick a team apart from the favorites of Dundalk and Cork, and the highest placed team at the end of the season can have the bragging rights. I'll even throw in a bonus prize for the winner. So guys, who are you taking? Because I'm sure you did research for this and have a team already.
Damn, I was going to take Dundalk and Cork, so okay. I don't know.
All right, why don't you do research? We'll circle back to this. I'm taking Galway in honor of the guy that we had on a couple of weeks ago. Why is his name escaping me? But he's Football Kitbox Paul. So I'm going to take Galway as the highest winner.
Is that his official name?
In that league. His name's Paul Bean.
Football Kitbox Paul.
Paul Bean from Football Kickbox. If you're not, go check out that website as well. They're doing some awesome things. Ireland, League of Ireland. We'll circle back to that question. Oh man, this next one, which I don't think you guys have probably done research for as well. So we'll skip that, come back to that. Ton of reports are saying that this is from, next question is from at It's a Todd Life. Ton of reports are saying Nani is close to signing with Orlando. Given Nani is 32, how do you think he's going to do in MLS? Christian, who do you think, or Matthew, one of you, who's ever paying more attention to me right now? How's Nani going to do?
I have no idea.
How is Nani going to do in MLS?
Right, I got it. No, let him go. So I think it's going to be great. That player on that team will be fantastic for that league. I think he's very skillful, and I think it's very entertaining. One of the he accomplished, you know, he won Champions League, right? I think he's won everything, and he's experienced winning Euro too. So I think it's great for the league.
All right, so you like Nani.
But Christian, what do you think of that player?
All right. Oh, that was good, Matt. So you actually did a good job of talking about the player without mentioning his name to throw Christian off. As fun as this is, I'm going to have to actually reveal who the hell I'm talking about. Christian, Nani is signing for Orlando City as a designated player.
Orlando City.
Oh, cool.
How do you think he's going to do?
Cool. He's going to be very average. I think he's going to be slightly above average for MLS right now. But yeah, I don't think it's like a huge signing.
Okay. Apparently, Galway are not in the Premier League, so I need
to
find.
They definitely aren't. We're looking.
Okay, so I need to find a new team as well.
Do you want us to read the 12 teams, David?
Yes,
there's
please.
10.
Okay.
Well, there's 10.
Well, we got. Would you like us to read the 10 teams? All right. So you got.
I'm taking Shamrock Rovers.
Oh no, that was mine.
Okay. Well, I made the decision. You should have been quicker.
I said it to Matt.
Okay. I'm taking Shamrock Rovers here. As a backup, I'll take Sligo Rovers in honor of Doughton, who runs the BBC World Football Phone-In. Quickly, guys, we're just pick a team.
Go.
I pick Shamrock. What do you mean?
Right. Shamrock.
All right. I'm going to go with, after looking at the one-match schedules, I'm going to go with the Bohemians.
Yeah, I like that one.
Right. Here you go, Soccer Swap. So those are our teams. We will find that out, and then yes, and then we will pay attention to that, I'm sure, throughout the season. Guys, all right, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to try to ask it. This is from at It's a Deal. This is our friend Drew. Go through each Premier League team and give an actor or actress that represents each team.
Yeah, I can't do this. I'm not.
So I was thinking.
All right.
Well, I were we supposed to do every team? Because I was only thinking for like the ones I could think of.
Yeah, just let's do some. I have one that I'd like, but Matt, do you have some that come to mind? Because it sounds like you actually did prepare, which I'm very happy with.
So I was thinking like somebody who like burst onto the scene recently for City, and I was gonna say like Kevin Hart.
Oh,
recently, how he's been in like everything. Made all his money very quickly, and he wasn't like he just kind of blew up out of nowhere. So and he was making like he got like pretty big. So I'm gonna say that. Liverpool, I'm gonna say Vince Vaughn, who used to be in everything I thought and is now in nothing. Boom, roasted.
Well, hopefully he's in something coming up, which we might be able to share. Yeah, to share in the future. But I don't know. That's a pipe dream. So we'll I don't know. That we might come back to that at some point in the future. I was thinking for Tottenham, I was thinking maybe Jason Bateman. He's always kind of there. He's in a lot of things, but he's not winning like awards. So he's generally thought of as kind of one of the best actors out there, but he's not like winning anything. So I know that might be harsh for Tottenham fans, but that was kind of where my head went with that. Christian, anyone come to mind for you?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the awards.
So who finished fourth in the last awards?
Whoever that is, that'd be Arsenal, I assume.
Yes. I have no. And who do we hate the most? Because that would be Chelsea.
Okay. Or over United? I can never understand where your head is at.
I honestly think I hate United more for the first time ever.
Okay.
Whoever played Ramsey Bolton.
Oh, that's not bad. But yeah, so Drew, all right, we'll think more on this. We'll pick it up over in our Slack channel. People, if you're not in our Slack channel, hit us up on Twitter at BTSoccerPod or bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com is our email. Get you added to the channel. We'll discuss things over there. Last question is from @Adolfo Lopez 1826. Why is it that NYCFC doesn't share their stadium with New York Red Bulls like AC Milan and Inter shared their San Siro? Giuseppe Meazza, I guess that's the name of the stadium, which I didn't realize. San Siro in Serie A, or in other parts of the world like Cruz Azul in America share the Estadio Azteca. I've always been curious about that situation. I have thoughts here, but guys, anything you wanted to chime in with?
So from my very little understanding and mainly assumption-based answer right here. So Red Bull Arena is where like it's
in Jersey.
Yeah, it's near the Meadowlands and all that stuff. So I think the NYC, they wanted, because they came after the Red Bulls, they wanted the city atmosphere and like kind of it's kind of hard to get fans in general. And so you have to be different than the other team in your city. So I think that's probably why they went in the city and did probably try to get that fan base more.
That's definitely an element. Christian, other thoughts?
I was pretty much going to highlight that as well, but I also think that, especially in America, there's a lot of same city teams and none actually play in the same place. So it's not really any different than what we'd expect.
Yep. And addressing it more from the other perspective, because the Giants and Jets do share a stadium, but they're one of the few ones. So Christian, you're spot on. It comes back.
Lakers, Clippers.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that's another good one. Coming back to,
well, I'll just go fuck myself because I'm an idiot.
No. Your point stands, and kind of where I was going to address it is specifically in Italy, it is very, very hard to get a stadium built, and almost all stadiums are owned by the municipalities, and so they're not usually likely to build two stadiums. Whereas over here, a lot of times it's generally the teams own the stadiums, but there's a lot of public money used, and that creates a whole other issue. But the ownership of the stadium is still the individual teams. Whereas in Italy, I don't know about Estadio Azteca, but I would assume maybe that it is officially owned by the city, and so they're less likely to build multiple stadiums for that reason. So that would be the other thing that I would add. But Matt kind of hits the head. These teams want their own brands. If they have their own home stadium, it's obviously better for that. So, Christian. Matthew, are you okay?
Speaking of hitting the head.
Yeah, you hit my head.
Okay, I thought I heard that. Yeah, or whatever's happening over there.
Yeah, I was joking. You said
was
hit my
Dad moving
head.
chairs.
So I was going,
okay, all right. All right, tell him to stop moving chairs. All right, Christian, trivia question, please.
Yeah, so trivia question. Sergio Ramos, how many red cards does he have? It's a La Liga record.
In La Liga?
Yes, La Liga only.
I'm going to say, oh, wait, hold up. I was thinking his career. No. Okay. Career
I'm saying 25.
I'm going to say 32.
My God, guys. You know how rare red cards are?
Okay, that's what I was
So on Twitter, he just got his 25th red card. I assume that's for his career, and so I just went with that answer because I just looked at the headline, guys. I just looked at the headline. I didn't read the article.
20. So it's 20.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
We weren't that far off for you to say, good God.
32?
Yeah. He does that every time.
That was crazy. That's a big difference. That's over 50% more. In fact, it's
quick
60% more.
Quick maths. Okay. Christian, you want to wrap us up here?
Yes, I would love to. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching episode 113. It's been great having you here. Thank you for our listener questions. And if you want to reach out to us, you can tweet at us at Matt. Where can they find us?
At BT Soccer Pod.
Dave, where can they email us?
bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com.
Oh, Matt, would you like to chime in?
Yeah, I have a question. Those dots don't matter, right?
They do not matter. You can also send the email to brostalkingsoccer@gmail.com. It'll still reach us. But it also looks like bros stalking soccer when you don't have the dots, which is why I thought it was important to include the dots.
Fair enough. All right, Dave, what can they do and what website can they find us at?
You can find us brostalkingsoccer.com. You can read about us, check out past episodes, and if you want to support the show, go to our store link. If you're buying anything on Amazon, click to Amazon off of our Amazon link. Whatever you end up purchasing, we get a very, very small percentage. Help support the show, and we would really, really appreciate it.
So do we use Amazon or?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so I would love to tell you guys about Slack. And Slack is our interactive, fun little chat room where we get to talk about soccer and pretty much anything. We got a general category where we really do talk about just about anything in life. We have all the top 5 European leagues. We've got MLS, Liga MX, international, transfer rumors, all that good stuff. I don't know what Matt's doing in the background.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. If you want to join us over there, please email us at, again, brostalkingsoccer@gmail.com or bros.talkingsoccer.gmail.com. It doesn't matter. Whatever dots you put in there, it doesn't matter. So, anything else you guys have to add today? You all good?
I am great. Good job.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Matt's Megs. Good. High five. Christian's Corner and Dave's Dives. It's been an honor having you here, and hopefully you continue listening in the future. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
It has been an honor and a privilege. No, I'm just fucking around. You can stop it whenever.
So, yeah, YouTubers, thanks for stopping by. Everyone who's here live, Dave knows he can see you. I cannot right now, but Dave, do you want to give him a shout out?
I wanted to apologize. I almost saw Northwood Guitar Matt.
Yeah, I know.
I missed him by a day. I was like, damn.
He was tweeting at me. I didn't realize he reached out to you.
Yeah, no. I told him. Well, he messaged me at 11 something, the night before we left. So I was already asleep by then. And then because we left, we had to be up by 3 to get We're still live, but yeah. Some people. Yeah, I almost met Matt. So. Maybe next time.
What were you going to say if we weren't live?
I don't know. I just didn't know. I didn't know if people cared about this. Usually we talk for a while after.
All right. YouTubers, thanks for stopping by.
Bye-bye. See you, Steven and Soccer Swap. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yours is touchscreen too?
Yeah.
Wait, why? You should. Whoa.